Level 1. The application. Your screen glows in a dark room. A plain government website stares back at you. No flashy graphics, no dramatic recruitment video. Just the seal of the Central Intelligence Agency and a single button. You click apply. That decision enters you into the most selective hiring process on the planet. The CIA rejects more than 95% of everyone who applies. Most are eliminated before a single human being ever reviews their file. But you already know what this organization does. It operates in over 170 countries. It has shaped the outcomes of global conflicts without ever appearing in the headlines. It guards secrets so sensitive that some will remain classified for over 50 years. And right now, it is asking whether you deserve to be part of it. The application form asks for every address you have ever lived at, every country you have ever visited, every close personal relationship from the past decade. This is not a resume drop. This is your first intelligence evaluation. One inconsistency gets your file flagged. One unexplained gap in your history ends everything. You review each answer carefully, then press submit. Silence swallows you whole. No confirmation email arrives. No tracking portal updates. Weeks bleed into months without a single word. This is deliberate. The CIA is measuring your ability to sit inside uncertainty and keep your mouth shut. Applicants who call the agency demanding updates are quietly removed. Those who mention the process online are permanently disqualified. Patience and discretion are the first real test, and most people fail, both without realizing it. Then your phone rings on an ordinary morning. An unknown number, a calm voice confirms your identity and invites you to the next stage. But that voice does not mention one critical detail. Everything until now was designed to be easy. Level 2. The vetting. You arrive at a building with no name on the door. Security teams check your credentials at 3 separate points before you step inside. This is where the CIA decides if your mind can be trusted with secrets that protect an entire nation. The vetting process typically stretches between 6 and 18 months. It is considered one of the most invasive evaluations any civilian will ever endure. First comes the background investigation. A team of federal agents spreads across the country on your behalf. They interview your college roommates. They visit former employers you have not thought about in years. They question neighbors from apartments you barely remember living in. They contact people you listed as references and people you never listed at all. They're constructing a full portrait of who you really are when nobody important is watching. If your application contains even one deliberate falsehood, they will find it. Then comes the phase most candidates dread, the full-scope polygraph. You are escorted into a windowless room. Sensors are placed across your chest, your fingertips, and your abdomen. A trained examiner with decades of experience sits directly across from you. The questions begin slowly, then build in intensity. Have you ever shared confidential information with someone unauthorized? Have you ever been contacted by a foreign intelligence service? Have you ever deliberately concealed something from a government authority? The machine does not detect lies directly. It records involuntary stress responses in your body, and the examiner reads every fluctuation in real time. Some candidates confess to undisclosed information during this phase and are immediately escorted out of the building. After the polygraph comes a comprehensive psychological evaluation. CIA psychologists study how your mind responds under sustained pressure. They assess your relationship with fear, prolonged isolation, and deep ambiguity. They're not searching for people who feel nothing. They want people who feel everything and still perform at the highest level. A complete medical screening follows. Because the agency deploys officers into demanding environments that test both body and mind equally. If you clear every single stage, a letter arrives at your home. Inside is a reporting order to a location you're never permitted to discuss publicly. The intelligence community calls it the farm. What happens inside those gates will rebuild you from the ground up. Level 3. The farm. You are driven through miles of dense Virginia forest. The road narrows. Fences lined with surveillance equipment appear on both sides. Secured checkpoints stop your vehicle twice before you reach the main compound. This is Camp Peary, 9,000 acres of classified training ground hidden behind a military cover story. The Department of Defense officially lists this site as an experimental training facility. In reality, it is the CIA's most important academy, and you are its newest recruit. Training begins before dawn on your first day. The opening weeks focus entirely on tradecraft. This is the discipline of conducting intelligence operations without ever being detected. You learn how to identify a potential source in a foreign country, how to engineer a first encounter that feels completely unplanned, how to guide a conversation so precisely that the other person reveals sensitive details without ever realizing what happened. This method is called elicitation, and it is the single most critical skill a CIA officer will ever develop. Next comes surveillance detection. You're taught to walk carefully designed routes through busy urban environments. These routes are built to expose anyone who might be following you. You study reflections in shop windows. You memorize faces in crowds. You learn to confirm whether you have a tail within 3 city blocks. Then the training intensifies sharply. You receive a full cover identity, a fabricated name, a fictional career history, a detailed explanation for your presence in a specific foreign country. Your task is to maintain this legend under relentless scrutiny. Instructors pose as suspicious border officials, foreign security personnel, and unpredictable contacts. Your story must hold perfectly under every scenario. The physical ISLA conditioning is equally demanding. You learn defensive techniques and evasive vehicle maneuvering. You're trained to withstand structured questioning in the event you are ever detained overseas. Mock operations are conducted at all hours, forcing you to perform under sleep deprivation and constant uncertainty. The farm must locate your limits before a real adversary does. Candidates wash out at every stage of this program. Some resign voluntarily, others are removed without explanation. But those who endure the full course earn a designation carried by fewer than 20,000 people in the world. You are now a CIA operations officer. You receive a blue identification badge, and the agency assigns you to your first overseas posting. The real mission starts now. Level 4, the case officer. You land in a foreign capital carrying a diplomatic passport. Your official title at the American Embassy is designed to be forgettable: a political affairs analyst, a trade policy advisor, a mid-level bureaucrat that nobody notices twice. This cover exists to protect your true purpose. You are a case officer in the CIA's clandestine service, and your mission is to recruit human sources inside foreign governments, not the fictional version. Real individuals with real access to classified intelligence. The agency uses a framework called MICE to evaluate what motivates a person to cooperate: money, ideology, compromise, ego. Every potential source is assessed through these 4 factors before any approach is made. Your first target might be a foreign diplomat burdened by personal debt, a government official who has grown disillusioned with systemic corruption, a state researcher who believes their work is being misused. You never approach these individuals directly. Instead, you engineer what appears to be a natural encounter: a diplomatic reception, a professional conference, a conversation at a cafe that feels spontaneous but was planned weeks in advance. Every sentence you speak during that first interaction has been rehearsed with your team back at the station. Over the following weeks, you build a genuine connection. You remember small details they mention in passing. You listen far more than you speak. You create a space where they feel genuinely understood, because trust is the only currency that matters in this profession. Then comes the moment everything has been building toward. You make the recruitment pitch. You ask this person to provide classified information to the United States government. This single conversation carries the highest stakes in intelligence work. If they accept, you gain a source capable of producing intelligence that reshapes national security decisions for years. If they refuse and report the encounter, your cover is compromised, and your posting ends immediately. After a successful recruitment, your work is far from over. You manage the source through regular covert meetings, using communication methods designed to leave no trace. You safeguard their identity with your career and your reputation. The best case officers in CIA history all shared one defining quality. They understood human nature better than anyone else in the room. Level 5, the station chief. Years of overseas rotations have shaped you into one of the most seasoned officers in the clandestine service. You have recruited sources across multiple continents. Operations you managed have appeared in the President's daily intelligence briefing. Now the agency extends its most prestigious field assignment. Chief of Station. You are the most senior CIA officer inside an entire country. Every intelligence operation conducted within those borders answers directly to you. You work from a reinforced section of the American Embassy, a secure space known internally as the station. Almost no one in the diplomatic mission knows your real role. The ambassador has been briefed on your identity. Perhaps one or two senior staff are aware. To everyone else, you appear to be just another government employee. But behind the secured door, you lead a team of case officers, analysts, and technical specialists, executing some of the most sensitive operations in American intelligence. You determine which foreign officials become targets for recruitment. You approve or reject operational plans that carry real diplomatic weight. When a political crisis erupts in your country, headquarters contacts you before anyone else on the ground. The most accomplished station chiefs evolve into something the agency never formally acknowledges: shadow diplomats. They build quiet relationships with host nation intelligence services. They detect political instability weeks before it reaches global headlines. They deliver ground-level insight that no surveillance system or intercepted transmission can replicate. But this authority comes with an extraordinary burden. One exposed source could cost someone their freedom. One miscalculated operation could damage bilateral relations for a generation. Every one of these decisions belongs to you alone, and there's no committee to share the weight. If you excel in this role, the agency calls you home to Langley, Virginia. A position on the 7th floor of CIA headquarters is waiting. This is the corridor where the future of American intelligence is decided. Level 6, the inner circle. You step into the main lobby of CIA headquarters. The memorial wall rises to your left. 139 stars carved into white Alabama marble. Each star represents an officer who gave their life in service to the agency. Some of their names remain classified decades after their passing. You walk past the wall and step into the elevator. The doors open on the 7th floor. This is where the most powerful figures in American intelligence operate. Your new title is Division Chief. In this role, you oversee every CIA operation across an entire geographic region of the world. That region could be the Middle East, East Asia, Europe, Africa, or Latin America. Every station chief in your territory reports to you directly. Every significant source recruitment requires your approval. Every high-risk covert program needs your personal authorization before moving forward. You are now shaping the strategic priorities that determine where America focuses its intelligence resources globally. Above the division chief sits the deputy director of the Central Intelligence Agency. This person manages the daily operations of the entire organization. They coordinate between the field officers collecting intelligence overseas, the analysts interpreting raw data at headquarters, and the technologists building the systems connecting both worlds. The deputy director briefs the White House regularly, translating complex intelligence into decisions that affect millions of lives. At the very top stands the director of the CIA, nominated by the President of the United States, confirmed by the United States Senate. This individual serves as the principal intelligence advisor to the most powerful leader on Earth. When a global crisis demands immediate clarity, the director's in the room. When a covert operation of the highest national importance is proposed, the director grants final approval. They command a workforce exceeding 20,000 officers and manage a classified annual budget estimated at over $15 billion. But fewer than a handful of living human beings carry this level of influence over international affairs. And the most extraordinary part of this journey is where it started. You sitting alone in front of a glowing screen, wondering whether you were good enough to even try. You clicked one button on a plain government website. That single act carried you from an anonymous applicant to the most powerful intelligence position in the world. That is every rank inside the CIA, from recruit to the person who briefs the president.